Greetings, Karen Clay here. So we're going to do the second part of a lesson, learning how to roll up or roll down from into lying down position from sitting. So we'll add the next step here right now. Come and lie on your back and sense for yourself the length of yourself against the floor, the contact through your heels, the shape of the contact of your pelvis against the floor, whether you feel that that contact is right in the center of you or a little bit more to the right or a little bit more to the left. And you can mirror that in your skull. Is your skull lying dead center on the floor, or is it a little bit to the right of center or a little bit to the left of center? And how would you know? Well, you just go inside and make your best guess. That's how learning happens. Might be wrong, but you start somewhere and you get better and better, just like you get better and better at tasting wine or sampling food. How about the space under your lower back? Is there a lot of space under your lower back? Is there enough to put a whole hand under there or just a few fingers? Do you feel comfortable against the floor, with the floor, supported by the floor, or do you feel a little tense? So please bend and stand your legs, and then you're going to grab around the front of your right knee from the outside with your right hand, and around the front of your left knee from the outside with your left hand. And just spend a moment, actually go over the top of the knees for now, so your fingertips are pointed away. Start to just let that right knee go a little bit and catch it. It's a really fun game to see how passive you can be. So your hand is controlling a completely passive leg. Now on to the left. So you let it go and catch it, let it go and catch it. So you're completely free and loose in your hip joints. Now let the right foot drop and let the left foot drop. Bring them back in again. So they drop, drop. So there's some sound there that you create against the floor as each leg drops to the floor. Now you could take it to an extreme and be a complete puppet and just let everything go. If you like that, if you like playing around with that passivity. And when you're ready, then you are going to hold on somewhere on the top or on the outsides of the knees, and you're going to begin very slowly, please, to take your knees to the right and back to center. So there's no goal here. I don't want you to go as far as you can go, please, for right now. I just want you to move an inch off of center to the right with both knees, and an inch off the center to the left with both knees. And you're going to do that many, 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 many times. Feeling the rolling across the back of the pelvis. If you need more padding under your pelvis, make sure you take care of that. Any discomfort is really not allowed in these lessons. And so that means you need to take care of yourself. Also just in terms of how you need to make yourself comfortable with extra props, extra padding, a sweater, whatever. So as you start to understand that your knees are in your hands and your hands are sort of creating an isometric, there's a little tiny bit of pull in this direction, and there's a little tiny bit of the weight of the legs hanging in that direction. And that's how you balance over your pelvis, because there's an equal and opposite thing here between the hands and the knees that allows you to begin to go side to side. When you get more comfortable and familiar with the contour of the back of your pelvis and how you roll across it, you can begin to take the movement a little bit further. You know when, maybe you don't know when you're going to lose your balance, but you certainly know when you're about to approach it. And that's when you want to stop and go back in the other direction. So you continue going right and left, and you also notice that you're rolling not just through your pelvis, but through the waist and through the middle of the back, that you're rolling onto the ribs that you woke up last time on one side. So here I am, I'm just at a precipice right here. If I go any further, I'll probably fall over. So I have to figure out a strategy, but I'm going to play with falling over a little bit. So I'm still good. I'm good. Now you can see I'm starting to quaver a little bit, or you'll feel your own self quaver a little bit. And then, whoop, I went a little too far. And so at that point, let's go to the right again. When I go a little too far, I have to really reach towards the ceiling with my opposite knee. So there's much more intention outward, outward, outward in the opposite knee. And so that creates more counterbalance for me, so I can get further around the corner of my pelvis, further around the corner of my rib cage. Still not trying to go as far as I can go. I don't ever want to give myself a sense of incapability in these lessons. I always want to be reinforcing my ability to teach myself something new. So here I am, I'm starting to quaver and stutter a little bit on the other side. So now I'm going to reach the opposite knee, that's the right knee, out and away towards the ceiling slightly. That creates a counterbalance between my legs so that I can move further around the side of my torso. That's as far as I'm going to go, because if I go any further right now, I don't really know whether I'll make it. So this can take a long time, and it's really, really fun. And it's really fun to not know, to be a little bit out of balance, but not have it mean anything cataclysmic or catastrophic. If I'm out of balance and I fall, great. Well, then I figured out that I don't quite know how to make that transition yet. So maybe I need to figure out how to move my knees further apart in a slightly more of a scissory direction. You know what I mean by scissor, this way, so that I can keep myself balanced. So I'm just using the weight of my legs to support my torso as it rolls to the side. And again, there for me is that precipice. So I can either go further and see if I fall, or I can figure out what else I need to do with my legs. And now with my spine, how do I lengthen out the top of my head to help me get to the side? So all of these subtle ways that my system adapts to being off balance slightly, and all of these things, see there, I just started lengthening my neck, lengthening my spine. So take 2 or 3 more minutes, if you wish, 2 or 3 more, I'm sorry, not minutes, repetitions, and play with that. And then take a break and rest your legs. Notice if there's anything different about how your pelvis meets the floor, about the space under your low back, about your sense of ease with the floor. And then we'll finish the lesson coming up with the knees bent in a kind, and the arms bent in kind of a baby position, kind of the way babies are. And you're going to take yourself to the right and to the left slowly, keeping symmetrical, keeping the arms and the legs, the elbows and the knees working together as you very, very slowly begin to go excuse me, from right to left. Abdominals are soft. All you're doing is using the floor. You can see that this knee is not staying here, is it? If it stays here, I might lose my balance. So once again, I'm counterbalancing when I need to. And then I can come back one side at a time, and the other side can follow. Or I can come back both sides together in a symmetrical and unchanging position. So play with that. It's really fun. Once you've had enough, do lie back on your back again and take a base or a post test so you can see how you feel against the floor. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next week.